What's up, guys? This is Cory and welcome to CNA Films and Animation. Today is Sunday. Welcome to this week's episode of Still in Theater Sunday. Today, since it's the month of February and Oscars is just around the corner, I've decided that I'm going to take the next 3 weeks to give you guys my reviews of the Oscar-nominated movies for this year. So I'm going to basically review 3 movies each week up to the Oscars of the Oscar-nominated movies. So this week I'm going to review Amour, Argo, and Beast of the Southern Wild. Next week I will review Django Unchained, Les Miserables, and Life of Pi. And then the third week I will review Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, and Zero Dark 30. And on that fourth week will be Oscar Sunday, and in the morning I will be posting my predictions for the Oscars, what nominees I think will win. So with that, let's get started into this week's video. What's the first movie that I'm going to review? Amour. Amour was nominated for 5 Oscars this year, and the Oscar nominees are, other than Best Picture, Best Foreign Film, Best Director for Michael Haneke, Best Actress for Emmanuelle Riva, and Best Original Screenplay. So Amour is about this elderly couple, and they kind of live a little bit of a higher life. They live in a different country. I mean, it's a foreign film, and I completely forgot what country they live in. But everything kind of turns on its head when Emmanuelle Riva's character has a stroke, and her husband is left to take care of her while, she's disabled. The movie is pretty much just, how her husband stays with her, takes care of her, loves her, even though she is just getting worse and worse as each day goes by. And, it's a very heartbreaking film. It's a very, very realistic film. And at times it is pretty hard to watch just because, I do know some people who have had strokes. I do know the hardships that it can take to care for someone who, suffers from a stroke. And, I mean, it's all very true to life. And, it's very rare that you see a husband take care of the sick wife. Usually the man will probably either walk off or put her in a home or something. I mean, it's rare for a film to capture that, and I applaud them for it. The director, Michael Haneke, did a pretty good job. I wouldn't say that his nomination was fully deserved, just because I felt that there could have been some scenes that could have been shorter. There are a lot of scenes where it's just someone staring kind of into space a little bit, and each scene just kind of goes on a little too long. But, then again, it does help with the depth of the film. So in ways I can see where it works, but in other ways it just was a little too long. This movie could have been cut back maybe about 15 minutes. And it would still have the same impact that it did in the 2 hours. So let me get into the actors. Emmanuelle Riva did a fantastic job. Her performance was very heartbreaking. She truly did a fantastic job. Her Oscar nomination is well deserved. And her husband, I don't know who the actor was, but he was fantastic as well. Again, just a very heartbreaking performance, and it's one of those, that this is a very performance-driven film. It's a very slow-moving film. In fact, at times it's a very slow-paced film. It moves like a snail, basically. But, with that, I do think that it is a great movie. I do think that it is deserving of the nomination for Best Foreign Film, and possibly even Best Picture, but then again, I did have a couple of issues with it, so I'm not sure if it deserved the Best Picture nomination, but Best Foreign Film for sure. So, going into my next film, what would that be? Argo was nominated for 7 Oscars, and minus being nominated for Best Picture, it was also nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Alan Arkin, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Editing, Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, and Best Original Score. It's a true story about a group of Americans who work at the American Embassy in Israel in 1980, I think it was. There's a big riot going on, and the Americans sneak off to the Canadian Embassy in Iran and are basically staying there, hiding out while and trying to figure out a way to get home while they're in the most dangerous place imaginable and at the time. And so it takes the FBI. The FBI come up with this idea through Ben Affleck's character in order to save the Americans who are trapped in the Canadian Embassy. They decide to make it look like they're making a fake film and that all of these people are part of the production team. And so Ben Affleck travels to Israel to basically make it look like they are going to escape. Basically make it look like they are making this film called Argo, a sci-fi epic that is they're basically location scouting, just trying to find places to film this sci-fi film. And with that, it's up to Ben Affleck's character to get all these basically hostages out of the Canadian Embassy to get back home and out of Israel. And so with that, Argo is probably the most intense film of last year. It's so well directed, so well acted. I mean, it's a truly fantastic film. It hits every mark. Truly a fantastic film. Ben Affleck's masterpiece, and that's saying a lot because Gone Baby Gone was a fantastic film, as was The Town. And Argo, I think, may be his best. So, I truly think that this is very well deserving of the Best Picture. I have one thing to say to the Academy. Argo to hell for not nominating Ben Affleck for Best Director. Seriously. He truly was fantastic, both performing and directing. Everything about this movie was just absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorites of last year. It is I think, one of the best movies of last year. And truly, I think that it's the most deserving of the nomination for Best Picture. So, with that, I'm going to give Argo a 9.7 out of 10. So, what is my final film for this week? Beast of the Southern Wild was nominated for 4 Oscars, and the other 3, other than Best Picture, are Best Director for Ben Zeitlin, Best Actress for Quinvenzine Wallace, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Now, I already reviewed this movie, and I have to say that everything I said before about this film still holds true. I do think that Quinvenzine Wallace was absolutely fantastic in her performance. Truly a heartbreaking film. It's one that I truly loved, and I do think that it deserves to be nominated for Best Picture. But I did feel that there was a couple of things that were wrong with it in the Best Directing category. And some of those things were just basically that I did feel that there were some scenes that were very confusing. There were some unexplained things, and the visions, I guess, that this little girl has, these beasts, really they're just kind of a little confusing. They're just a little confusing. They're not really fully explained, and I guess they don't have to be. But I do feel that this is an excellent movie. I do think that this is one of the year's best. And with that, my original review, I gave this movie an 8.4, and I think that I might actually put it up a couple notches. I think I will probably give this movie overall an 8.6 out of 10. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I do feel that there are some stuff in it that is a little confusing, but it definitely had a big impact in my movie-going experience. It did have a big impact, emotionally, and really that's what a movie should do. It should have an impact on you in some way. And so, I do think that it deserves to be up a couple of notches from what my original score was. So, yeah, that's the first 3 Oscar movies that I review. And yeah, have you seen Amour, Argo, or Beasts of the Southern Wild? If you have, what'd you think of them? Did you like them? Did you think that they deserve their Oscar nominations? Which movie do you think will win? Be sure to write your thoughts in the comments. Just a reminder, I do have a poll going on for next Friday's video. And the choices are Late Quartet, Alex Cross, Celeste and Jesse Forever, Deadfall, Here Comes the Boom, So Undercover, and You May Not Kiss the Bride. If you want me to review any of those movies, be sure to vote in the comments section. Even if you haven't even seen or heard of the movie, I highly recommend that you just pick one that you think sounds most interesting. I'll be happy to review it, and whatever gets the highest vote will be my next review for Friday. So yeah, with that, if you guys like this video, be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. I'm Cory, and I'll see you guys in the next one.